To the mimer. This is the seventh mimer in Maimorim Ulukotim Chelik Gimel. ואתה תצוה b'nei Yisrael. This was said in Shabbos Parshas Tetzaveh Yud Oder Rishon in h'tshmã Mem Aleph. And over here it says in the note that this was actually published in a kuntras in Purim Cotton. That's for Yudalid Oder Aleph in the year Tafshin Nun Beis. And this was, as it says, for the Tuesday, Yom Gimel, in which Kitov was doubled, Purim Cotton. This is the date in Tafshin Nun Aleph. It was the Yom Aleph. That was the actual date. It was published for Purim Cotton, but it was published on Sunday in the Parshas Kisisa Tafshin Nun Beis. And they say further in the notes over here that the Rebbe distributed this mimer with his holy hand to each and every one of men, women, and children. I was fortunate to get a mimer from the Rebbe's hand myself. And the Rebbe responded to a report about the printing and the disseminating of this mimers. The Rebbe said, Yirotzin, prays that this will have the desirable impact, and it's a very auspicious time. Body Masle, this seems like the Masle, it's Purim Cotton, it's other, maybe. So the Rebbe says, Askir al-Atzin, or mention al-Atzin. Anyways, that's about this mimer. Now, we'll do the mimer itself. This mimer is based on the mimer of the Friedrich Rebbe, who said it in Purim Cotton, in Tafresh Pei Zayin. It was a very difficult and dangerous situation in the former Soviet Union. And this mimer actually seemed like the priest Rebbe said it in a way that it caused seemingly defiance to the government. And the whole story about this, how the previous Rebbe's mother was trying to have him not speak so. They had informants over there, as the whole history about this original mimer in Tafresh Pei Zayin. But we'll look inside here, this mimer. As the Rebbe said it in Shabbos Parshas Tetzaveh Yud Oder Rishon h'tshmã Mem Aleph. So the pasuk begins in the parsha, Va'ata Tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael. So this is like a different opening than we usually have, in which the pasuk says, and you Tetzaveh. Usually it says by Dabra Hashem Moshe Tzaves b'nei Yisrael. Here we say Ve'ato Tetzaveh as b'nei Yisrael. This is the Rebbe going to ask now, and the Rebbe is going to explain that Ve'ato Tetzaveh, besides meaning instruct or command the Bnei Yisrael, it also means you connect the Bnei Yisrael. And the pasuk later continues, "V'yichu eilecha," and they will bring to you, even though talking about bringing the oil, and the oil was really used by Aaron the Kohen to light the menorah. Why was it necessary, "V'yichu eilecha," to bring it to Moshe Rabbeinu? And the Rebbe explains that the Yichoi Lecha, in this context, that since Moshe Rabbeinu connects the Bnei Yisrael, so the Bnei Yisrael add to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is sort of the head of the Yidden who are his feet, and when Moshe connects the Bnei Yisrael with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it adds into Moshe itself. And then the pasuk says, Shemen Zayizach, they should bring the pure olive oil, and it should be kosis lamoir. It should be crushed for the luminary. And here too, it should say seemingly kosis lahoir. It should be crushed to be meir. Lahalis nertomi. And the Rebbe explains that the lahoir over here means lamoir, that you actually reach to the higher level of the moir. When you have kosis, when you're crushed, it brings out the Pnimius HaNefesh, which brings out to the moir, to the luminary itself, not just to the oir, as the Rebbe will explain the mimer. Lahalis nertomi, to be a constant light. The Pashto Pasuk, let's just go over the Pasuk again. Ve'ata tetzaveh b'nei Yisrael, you command the b'nei Yisrael. Hashem is saying to Moshe, you command the b'nei Yisrael. Ve'yichvei lecha, they should take and bring to you the shemen zayis zoch, the pure olive oil. Kosis lamoyer, it needs to be crushed so that it is for the lighting, lahalis neir tamid, to bring out a constant light. So it's known the questions that we have in this pasuk, the detailed languages, the way it says in this pasuk, the b'chol hatzivuyim shabatorah nemar, in all commands of the Torah it says, tzav es b'nei Yisrael ukayitzabe, instruct the b'nei Yisrael or similar. V'kan nemar, and here it says ve'ata tzav es b'nei Yisrael, you tzav es b'nei Yisrael. So it's not only that the language is different, ve'ata tzav versus tzav es b'nei Yisrael, but it's actually, the Rebbe adds, it actually has a different meaning, because when it says tzav, means Hashem is the one telling Moshe to command. But when Hashem tells him V'ata Tetzaveh, that means that Moshe should be the commander. That this question that it says, and you Tetzaveh, it's not just that it's a different language, is also a different meaning. The Loshin V'ata Tetzaveh, when it says, and you shall command, mashma Moshe hu ha-metzaveh, that Moshe is the one that is instructing. Hashem is saying, you be the metzaveh. Versus when Hashem says tzav, Hashem is the metzaveh through Moshe Rabbeinu. But what does it mean that Moshe Rabbeinu is the metzaveh? The tzorich lahavin, we need to understand it. Harei Moshe hu ha-shliach limser li-Yisrael le-tzivah kodesh baruch hu. But Moshe is really only the shaliach, he's only the agent to give over to the Yidden what Hashem wants, not that Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that's mitzvah. So why does it say, and you shall titzaveh? This will hint to us and tell us that there's another meaning in the pasuk, not just that you command, but titzaveh you connect, as the Rebbe will learn out. Also, we need to further understand, why does the pasuk say that they should bring it to you, take to you? Hashem and Moshe, they should bring the oil to Moshe. It says Elecha to you, that means to Moshe. The Lechaira would seem, since the elevating of the lamps was through Aaron, why did he need to bring the oil to Moshe? When it's Aaron is the one that is lighting it, so bring the oil to Aaron. Why to Moshe? And as the Rebbe will explain in a minute, that the Yichoy Lecha means that they bring up to Moshe, through Moshe connecting the Bnei Yisrael, the Yichoy Lecha, they elevate Moshe on a higher level, as we'll see. Also, we need to understand what the pasuk says, Shemen, Goimer Kosis Lamar. The oil, etc., as it was crushed for the luminary. The Lechaira, why is Lama oil to the source of light? The Lechaira, have the Lameimer, Shemen, Gomer Lahoyim, should have said oil to illuminate, to make light. Gam, Tzorich Lahovin, also need to understand the Pasuk Shel Achrizeh, in the next Pasuk, it says, Nemar me'erev ad boiker, from the evening till the morning. V'kan nemar, but in this pasuk it says lahalis ner tamid, a constant light. Over there it's me'erev ad boiker. So what's the difference? Base. So my father-in-law, the Rebbe, explains the Mamore Hayedua in his known Maimer Divrei HaMaschil V'kibel HaYehudim. Maimer that opens with V'kibel HaYehudim, which was said on Purim Cotton, Yudalad Oder Rishon in the year Tafresh Peizayin in 1927. That the tzivui, that when we say tzivui, which is tetzaveh, ato tetzaveh, tzivui hu tzavsa v'chibur. Tzivui means A command means to connect. Now, through the command, you connect the person that commands with the person being commanded. That's a connection. So tzivui, tetzavu, tzavso v'chibur. That comes from the notion of tzavso, together and connecting. V'zehu va'ato tetzava as b'nei Yisrael. And this is what it means. And you tetzava as b'nei Yisrael. Moshe hu mekasher hu mechaber as b'nei Yisrael im eid ein sof. That Moshe is the one that ties and connects the Bnei Yisrael with the Ein Sof. Ato you, Moshe Tetzava, connect the Yidden with the Ein Sof. Ba'al Yidei Moshe mashpia the Yisrael, through Moshe bringing and being mashpia, giving to the Yidden. Which is, how does he give to the Yidden? Because he ties them to the Ein Sof. Al Yidei through that Ato Tetzava, to his connection, Nasa Yisrael v'Hoisofa b'Moshe, that brings about an advantage and an addition in Moshe. Through Moshe's connecting the Yidden, this brings a connection to an elevation and an addition to Moshe Rabbeinu's level, because the Yidden, as he brings down, are sort of the Raglayim, and the Raglayim of Moshe, the generation, and the Raglayim can lead the head to places the head on its own can't go there. So it's the Yidden, through their connection through him connecting them, he gets elevated, they lead him to a higher place. The Moshe Yisrael, hem dugmas reish v'regel. Moshe and the Yidden are similar to a head and a foot. Commercial cause, the pasuk refers to the Yidden as the feet 600,000 feet are the people that I am amongst him. The whole Yisrael heim haraglaim the Moshe. All the Yidden are the feet of Moshe. Moshe hu harosh shalahem, and Moshe is their head. So Moshe and the Yidden have like a head and the feet, and just like Moshe ba'odam, just like by a person, haraglayim alichim esarosh, the feet will lead the head to a place sharosh mitzad atzma ena yochel hagil sham, to where the head on its own cannot reach there. Makain hu b'Moshe v'Yisrael, likewise it's by Moshe and the Yidden. Shal Yidei Yisrael haraglayim the Moshe, through Yisrael, which are the feet of Moshe. V'toisef ilui b'Moshe, this brings an addition into Moshe. They bring an addition to Moshe. They lead him to a place where Moshe himself cannot reach. The Zohar Mashikosu Sheish Meisel of Saragli Ha'om, and then it says Asher Anoichi B'Kirvei. What does it mean, Asher Anoichi B'Kirvei? So the Rebbe Taich Anoichi becomes B'Kirvei of Moshe. Shal Yidei Ragli Ha'om, through the feet of the people, Nim Shachagilu Do Anoichi, that brings down the revelation of Anoichi B'Kirvei Shal Moshe into Moshe. This is the meaning of Ve'ata Tetzava es b'nei Yisrael v'yikhoy lach Hashem azayis. You connect the b'nei Yisrael, and then they will bring you the Shem and Zayis. Al Yidei Shem Moshe Yitzave v'yikasher es b'nei Yisrael im sof, through Moshe connecting, commanding and connecting the b'nei Yisrael with Ein Sof. Al Yidei Zeh Yoviu b'nei Yisrael. Through that, the Yidden will bring the Shemen Zayis LeMoshe, that pure oil, that oil, that olive oil, they bring to Moshe, they'll bring it to you. They will add additional light in Moshe. So that's the way he teaches to answer these questions. Why does it say Vato Tetzava? That means Moshe connect. Why does it say because this adds to Moshe, and that's the Shem and Zayis. To explain this, Magdim B'Maimer, he introduces in the Maimer, Moshe Rabbeinu Nikra Raya Mehem. Moshe Rabbeinu is called the faithful shepherd. So the word Raya Mehem that can be translated, either it's a description of what kind of a shepherd he is, that he is a faithful shepherd. That's the shepherd of Moshe Rabbeinu. Or we can also translate it as that he shepherds belief, that is what he feeds the people who believe. The Shnei Perushim Bazeh, we have two interpretations. Shehu Roi and Nemon Shel Yisrael, that he is a faithful shepherd of the Yidden, and also B'Shehu Zon Umefarnes es Yisrael B'Inyan HaEmunah, and also that he feeds and he supports the Yidden in the matter of Emunah. Why do the Yidden need support in the Emunah? Because we need that Emunah to come down in the Pneumius, because if you just leave it in the Emunah, it may not impact the person in the Pneumius. The Emunah sheyesh Nabi Yisrael mitzad atzmam, the belief that the Yidden that exists by Yidden on their own without Moshe Rabbeinu feeding them, which is Yisrael hem maminim b'nei maminim. The Yidden are believers, the son of believers. Efsher shetiya b'bchinas makiv, that may be on a level that surrounds the person and it doesn't impact his insight. V'zeh shemoishe royo mefanes es Yisrael. So what is the idea that Moshe shepherds and supports the Yidden in the aspect, in the matter of Amunah? That the Amunah should come down in an inner. This is what the Zohar says. Hahi Amunah Dil'elo, that supreme Amunah Yitzan v'Yisparnei, will be fed and supported minei, from him, al yotcha Moshe, through you, through Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one that is going to support. That's the touch in the Zohar. What we mean when Moshe Rabbeinu feeds and supports the Emunah, is that he brings down a primus. That's the second touch of Raya Mehemna, feeding the Amunah, a faithful shepherd, and feeds the Amunah. So the Maimer says it's not only Moshe Rabbeinu, but it's really by every generation, the leader, the Moshe of that generation, does the same thing. The Maimer continued, this that Moshe is a faithful, is a shepherd that feeds the Amunah. This intention, we mean it with this also to the expansion of Moshe, which is in every generation. The Roshei Alfei Yisrael Shebechol Deir, the heads of the thousands of Yidden, which are in every generation, Hey Mechazkim Eso Amunah, the Yisrael, they support the Amunah of the Yidden, which is in their generation. That Shahamunah Shalahem Tia B'Pnimi, so that their Amunah should be in an inner. And we find this also. So that was also done. This was by Purim Cotton, the story of the Purim. Also, Mordechai, who was his Pashtus of the Moshe in his generation, he fed the Yidden in his generation Amunah. Mordechai, just like Mordechai. In his generation, he was the expansion of Moshe. As our sages of blessed memory say, that Mordechai in his generation is the same as Moshe was in his generation. So what did Mordechai do? This Pashtus of the Moshe, what did he do in his time? Shagam Bizman Gzeres Haman, also in the time when there was the Haman's decree. Shalimud HaTorah v'Kiyum HaMitzvahs, the study of Torah and the observance of mitzvahs, os then Hoya Kosru in Mesiras Nefesh, was tied to Mesiras Nefesh. And this is basically understood that the Rebbe is talking about himself, because the situation at that time in the former Soviet Union was such that it required from the Rebbe, the Moshe, the Pashtus, the Moshe, a tremendous Mesiras Nefesh to bring that emunah down to the Yidden in those circumstances, just like the Rebbe is explaining now by Mordechai. It was tied by Mordechai with Mesiris Nefesh. And still, he killed Kilis Barabim, he gathered public gatherings, Lechazek es amunosum shel Yisrael b'havaya, to strengthen their belief of the Yidden in Hashem, and to stay strong in the study of Torah and the observance of mitzvahs. Okay, that's what he brings down, the idea of Moshe being a Raimon. So then he brings down this, and then he comes to answer the third question. He brings down this, after he explains at length, Moshe and his expansion, in every generation, Israel, they strengthened the emunah of the Yid. So then he explains the specific language of the posik that he asked in the beginning, Shemen Goimer Kosis Lamoir. We bring the oil which was crushed for the moir. Lamoir v'loy lahoir, for the luminary, not the shah. Shebilman hagolus, during the time of exile. Shakol echad ve'echad hu nishbar v'nitke. Kosis means that during the exile, in which everybody is broken and subdued, down, crushed. Kosis crushed. Through that we reach to the luminary, which not just to light, we can reach the higher level, to the level of the moir from which the earth comes from. That's what he says. So, what is the connection that Mordechai, that is Pashtusa, the Moshe, Raya Mehemne, with this idea of Kosis Lamoyer? Seems like in the Maimer, it seems like disjointed over here. This is no. So, what's the connection? Tzorich Lahavin Hashaychus. We have to understand what is the connection that Pirush beKosis Lamoyer. This interpretation that the Kosis reaches the Moyer Lahamavur Ba'Maimer Bifneza, to that which is explained in the Maimer beforehand, She Ispashtusa, She Moshe Ispashtusa Lei. That Moshe and his expansion, which is in every generation, he feeds and supports the Munah that should be in a Pnimius. How is that connected to the Kosis Lamoyer that we're learning over here? It doesn't seem like it has a shaykhs.